Hey everyone, welcome to a live session of our weekly office hours at Asset Mule. I'm your host today. I'm Justin Dorfman, one of the co-founders here at Asset Mule and the CEO. And today I'm super excited to dive into a really interesting topic, which is how to get buying intent signals using interactive sales assets. So if you haven't been to one of our weekly office hour sessions, the way that it works is we generally focus on a topic like the one today, and we dive into that topic. We explore how to use the Asset Mule product to achieve a certain use case, in this case, identifying buying intent signals. And at the end, we leave some time as well for questions. So whether you want to dive into something specific around Asset Mule and a particular feature, or whether you want to ask a question about signal-based selling or the topic of the day, we can definitely spend some time at the end diving into those questions. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about interactive sales assets and how to get buying intent signals. So when it comes to interactive sales assets, we talk a lot about the benefits of increased engagement, the ability to embed videos and interactive demos and all these interactive elements into this web-based asset. From what we've seen, drives way more engagement than the traditional PDF or PowerPoint that traditionally we've been sending as a format for sales assets. But perhaps a more powerful benefit to this interactivity is the incredible insights it uncovers on how buyers are resonating and engaging with your assets. And the reason why this is so important in this day and age is buying has changed significantly, especially in B2B, right? In today's world, I've seen stats that say that as much as 80% or 83% of the sales process or the buying process now happens without sales reps in the room. At the same time, there's more stakeholders that are involved in a sales process than ever before. In fact, I think on average, there's about 11 stakeholders involved in an enterprise sales process. So the question is, how do sales reps remain relevant and influential and keep track of how deals are moving forward in a world where most of the process is happening without them in the room, and there's more people to actually sell and get sign off from than ever before. And that's where these buying signals and this whole signal-based selling sort of practice or topic has really emerged. And the role that interactive sales assets can play in this is pretty critical. It's a way for you to really see who's engaging with the assets and how they're engaging to determine the health of your opportunities, but also how to continue to sort of push the momentum of these deals forward. So that's what we're going to be diving into today. And one thing that we've noticed is, we've seen from product marketers that it can be challenging at times to get your sales team to use sales assets or to use the sales assets that you're producing for them. But once they get this level of insight and visibility into these opportunities, it's almost like having a superpower, right? Now they're actually in the room when they're not actually in the room, and they're able to see what's going on through these assets and the engagement that's happening in these assets. So what we've seen with a lot of our customers is once a sales rep is able to experience these new insights and level of visibility that they never had before, that challenge of getting sales teams to use your assets becomes less of a problem. And you don't have to chase them around anymore. Now they're more than happy to use those assets because not only do they help drive engagement and help with the sales process, but they actually give them that deeper visibility that they've lost in today's modern buying journey. So anyway, that's a little bit of an overview of what we're talking about today, but let's dive into the product and actually see how you can do this with interactive sales assets and with Asset Mule. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and switch tabs over here to Asset Mule. And what we're looking at right now is an asset that I've created in Asset Mule. It's based on a template that you can find in our system. Actually, I'll hop over the templates first to show you. So when you log into Asset Mule, there's a bunch of templates that you can use to build your own sales assets. And one of the sales templates that I use very frequently, and we see often used from our with our customers, is this follow-up set of assets. So there's 3 different versions here. There's a follow-up with a product video, and a follow-up with interactive demo. And they're generally the same templates. There's just, if you have a product video, you may want to use the follow-up with product video. And if you have an interactive demo using one of those really great interactive demo tools like Novatic or StoryLane or Howdy.Go, you may want to use the version with the interactive demo. And that's what I've been using since we have an interactive demo at Asset Mule. And as you'll see here, the example that I'm giving is as if I'm sending this to HubSpot. And these follow-up assets are designed to be used after, let's say, a demo or a discovery call where you've learned a little bit about the prospect. You sort of understand what their main pain points and needs are. You have a clear understanding of what your product can do to help them address those needs or solve those problems. And you're following up with a very personalized asset that speaks exactly to those needs, but is also very interactive and engaging, actually showing them, not just telling them how the product can be used to solve their needs, but actually showing them with some of these interactive elements. So I'm super excited that we at Asset Mule are going to HubSpot inbound conference in about a month. So I decided to use HubSpot as an example here, as if I'm sending this asset as a follow-up to Kip, who's actually the CMO at HubSpot, demonstrating or re-articulating how they can use Asset Mule to scale their sales asset creation and drive more engagement with buyers. And you can see throughout this asset, there are several interactive elements, right? What we call components in Asset Mule. So you'll see here, I've got a personalized video that I've embedded in here. It's just a Loom video. So I just recorded a quick 2-minute Loom video as a recap to our conversation with Kip and just dropped it in here, just the URL in here. And then you'll see, I've restated sort of their core challenges and priorities, as well as how we believe we can help them. But then again, I'm not just telling them how we can help them, I'm showing them. I included here an interactive demo. In this case, we're using a StoryLane demo. And I'm using the interactive or the embed code component here. So all I've done is taken the embed code from our StoryLane demo and pasted in here, so that now there's an interactive demo right into inside of my asset. Beyond that, I've also included some links to additional resources, and these just have to be links, right? So you'll see that what I've included here is a demo recording. Maybe it's a Zoom link that I've included in here, a link to a case study, a link to a competitive comparison to other solutions that they may be considering or maybe already use. In our case, sales enablement tools like HighSpot and Seismic, a link to an ROI calculator here, and then a link to a proposal, and then finally a link to an FAQ page where throughout the sales process, as questions come up, I can answer them in that page, really making it a personalized FAQ page. Now, these are just examples of things that you can put in here. And when you send these assets over, you don't have to have everything in here from the get-go. You can include maybe the demo recording and maybe a case study and a competitive page after that initial conversation. And then as you're proceeding down the sales process, as things come up, like, maybe the CFO is going to review the product, you can add the ROI calculator, or maybe you start getting into that proposal stage, you can add the proposal link. And again, it just has to be a link. You just put in some text here, and you can change the icon that's associated with the link, and then you just paste in the link here. It can be an Asset Mule asset. So some of these, like the case study and the competitive comparison page and proposal and so on, FAQ, you can build in Asset Mule. But also, if it's just a link to a page on your website or an ROI calculator in the Google Sheets and so on, you can just sort of add that in here and add the link. And then again, it's clickable from the asset. And then you'll see I finally cap off this asset with a Calendly calendar here. Again, another interactive element. And again, the point of all of this is by including videos, by including an interactive demo, and by including these additional resources, not only am I educating our buyer and putting useful and relevant resources in here, but I'm giving them an opportunity to interact and engage with the asset, which will then give my sales rep, or if I'm the sales rep myself, some insight into what's happening behind the scenes as my champion is going out there and pitching my solution to various stakeholders. So let's see what that actually looks like. So when I'm ready, I go ahead and save that asset, and then I can preview it as well right before I send it and make sure that everything looks good. And then when I'm ready, I can go ahead and share that asset with my prospect, either as a link and a screenshot, or my favorite is the link in the animated screenshot, as it really drives, again, that engagement and interactivity from the prospect. So I just click on that to copy that to my clipboard. And then, when I'm writing my follow-up email to my prospect, I can just paste that in here. And as you'll see, it's this really nice scroll through. They can see, again, that it's personalized to them. It's got the HubSpot logo. It's got their name. It's got the personalized video in there. And what that tends to do is really drive interest and engagement and traffic to that page. So let's now say that I'm the prospect and I go ahead and click through to the asset. This is what it's going to look like for them, right? They're going to see sort of the personalized header here and the personalized welcome message. And now they may click through to some things on the page. So they may the video here, or they may scroll down and check out that interactive demo and click through a couple of the screens here. And again, this is great because it really gives them that ability to see the product, a nice recap. And as they pass this on to other team members, they'll also be able to experience the product without having to necessarily jump on a follow-up demo, or at least before jumping on that follow-up demo. And then maybe they are interested in checking out some of these additional resources that I've included. Now, this you'll see here, this is just an example. I haven't put actual links here. I just put example.com. But as they click through, they'll be able to go to those pages. Maybe they click on the demo recording, they click on the case study, the competitive page, and maybe the ROI calculator, right? And then finally, maybe they want to schedule a follow-up meeting. So they click on the interactive demo, or they click on the book a meeting button here. Now, when it comes to those buying signals, as they're clicking through all of these things on the page, we're tracking everything that they're doing. So first of all, the sales rep, if I go back to my email over here, is going to receive a real-time email notification saying, hey, somebody from San Francisco, California just viewed your Asset Mule for HubSpot assets. So there's engagement there. There's life on the other side. It's a really good intent signal that, they didn't just, join the demo meeting, but actually they're looking at the follow-up material and they're engaging. And again, as they forward that asset on to other people, you'll continue to get these notifications letting you know that other people, maybe in other locations as well, are checking out that asset. But then within Asset Mule itself, I click on this see all interactions CTA on that email. Now I can go and actually see all the interactions that just happened on that page. So I can see that the person viewed the asset. They then clicked on that video in the second section, so that welcome video. They then clicked on the embed, which is that interactive demo in the sixth section, right? They clicked on some of those additional resources, right, in the 13th section, the demo recording video, the case study, the competitive page, and the ROI calculator. Finally, they clicked on the embed in the 15th section, which is that calendar. And then maybe they clicked on the book a meeting button. Maybe they booked the meeting, maybe they didn't. But this is really good insight to see sort of what's happening on the page. And, really when it comes to those buying intent signals, there's sort of two layers that I like to think of from the salesperson's perspective. The first is this prospect even engaging at all, right? So like if they didn't engage at all after that follow-up meeting, maybe it wasn't as hot a opportunity as I thought. And, maybe it's not worth prioritizing that particular account because I'm not seeing that level of engagement post meeting. On the other hand, if I'm seeing a lot of engagement like this, but even more so, maybe I'm seeing them forwarding on this asset to other team members. We have a unique identifier per person. So if I'm starting to see a new identifier showing up, maybe with a new location, I'm getting a feel for, okay, they're passing this on. And more people on the team are seeing this, and it's getting, remember those 11 stakeholders, we're starting to see it get sort of visibility among those 11 stakeholders. But also I can see exactly what they're doing on that page. So maybe my prospect passed it on to their boss, who clicked on a couple of these case studies, or these, clicked on the comparison page, right? Or maybe they passed it on to their CFO, who clicked on the ROI calculator. This is really powerful. These are really powerful insights that today, prior to Asset Mule, by sending over a PDF, the salesperson has absolutely no visibility in what's going on behind the scene. But now it's almost as if they're in the room again, seeing who's engaging with the assets and how this is moving on. But the next layer of visibility is that they can actually determine how best to follow up. So if they saw them clicking on a case study, maybe they follow up by adding a couple more case studies to that asset. Or, if they see the CFO clicking on the ROI calculator, maybe, it's worth trying to set up a follow-up call with the CFO to talk through a business case, and specifically how that ROI calculator might apply to them, or how it applied to other customers and the sort of results and return on investment they were able to get as well, right? So it really allows you to get strategic here and understand not just who's engaging, but also how you can follow up as well. Now, there's last things I want to sort of talk about are some things that are going to be coming soon to this particular page in terms of analytics. So one of the things is we're looking to go beyond a unique identifier to actually being able to track who is engaging with these assets, so that you'll be able to see that it was the CFO, or it was the VP of sales, or the VP of marketing, whoever these stakeholders are that were engaging with these assets. So that's going to be really, really powerful. The other thing that we'll do is we'll be able to track more details on sort of where they spent the time on the page, and time spent, and all these different things. Again, giving you deeper insights into what's important to them, what's resonating, and how to follow up. So that's sort of the walkthrough for today, and that's showing you again how you can embed these interactive elements into the asset, like videos and interactive demos and links to other assets, and you can continue to sort of build that throughout the sales process. And then how you can then share that asset with your prospect in a very engaging way, with a sort of animated screenshot that then drives them to the page, drives them to click on all these interactive elements, and those really interesting insights and buying intent signals that delivers you through these analytics to determine, again, who to prioritize in terms of prospects, but also how they're engaging with the page and how best to follow up and support them going forward to drive momentum on your sales process. So I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to go back to I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And if you have any questions, please do put it in the comments, and I'm more than happy to dive into anything in more detail. And obviously, if there aren't any questions, we can end a little early here. But before we do, while I'm waiting on these questions, we've definitely seen some interesting use cases here with Asset Mule. Sort of two big use cases have started to emerge. There's obviously the usual sort of asset use case of sending one-pagers and sending case studies and sending competitive pages and so on. But sort of two other use cases, and we have two templates for this. One is the follow-up use case that I just mentioned, where after a demo or a discovery call, you can follow up with this really personalized asset, right? But the other use case is outbound. So we're seeing a lot of folks using SDR teams in particular, using Asset Mule to do very personalized and interactive outbound by sending these assets, kind of going beyond the traditional text-based emails and static PDFs, and sending these highly engaging, highly personalized assets for outbound. And in both these cases, I think the signals play a really important role. We talked a lot about it when it comes to the follow-up assets and how you can start to see, how your buyers are engaging, and how that asset is spreading throughout the organization, kind of getting in the room when you're not in the room anymore. But from an outbound perspective, it also plays a really important role in sort of prioritizing who you continue to follow up with, right? If you're reaching out to, let's say, 50 accounts, without that visibility, you're not quite sure, who's engaging and how they're engaging and so on. But with this level of visibility, you can start to see, okay, maybe these 20 of these 50 accounts are really engaging heavily. So let's follow up there. And we can see that they're engaging with certain things like the interactive demo. So maybe we follow up with some other examples of interactive demos highlighting different use cases, or maybe they're engaging with the case study, right? So we send them some other case studies, right? So those are kind of ways that we're seeing these intent signals really playing a role in those two main use cases of follow-up, post-discovery, post-demo, and outbound as well. So I'll give a minute or two more here for any questions. And if there aren't any questions, again, we can end a little early here today. A couple things that I'll just mention is that Asset Mule is free to use, right? It's a freemium model. It's based on the number of assets that you want to be able to publish and have out there being tracked and so on. So our free tier starts with 3 live asset capacity. And again, it's free forever. So it's you can create as many templates as you want. You can create as many snippets as you want. You can have as many users as you want. It's just when you publish or create an asset and publish it out there and have it being tracked, it counts as 1 towards your quota. You can obviously delete assets when you don't need them anymore and stay within that quota. And then our first paid tier is 50 live assets for $50 a month. And then you can add additional buckets of 50 assets for $25 more a month. So it's a pretty reasonable starting point. But again, free forever tier, if what you saw today you like and it interests you and you're looking to move beyond PDFs to more interactive buying experiences, but also to get that deeper level of intent signals for your sales team, feel free to sign up for free. Give it a go. We'd love to hear your feedback, good or bad, or if you have feature requests, we also really love getting feature requests. A lot of the product as you see it today was built based on feedback of our early users. So let us know what we can continue adding to the product to make it even more valuable for you. And if you're not ready to sign up for Asset Mule yet today, but you do want to learn about some of these new ways of approaching go-to-market, follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on X. We're constantly publishing content, trying to learn ourselves on all these trends and these interesting things like signal-based selling that are happening out there. And we also have the GTM Pack podcast, where we interview product marketing, sales, enablement, all kinds of GTM leaders and dive into these specific types of topics. So specifically for a signal-based selling, we had Adam Robinson from RB2B. They're doing some really great stuff when it comes to signal-based selling and tracking who's visiting your website. So we had him on our GTM Pack podcast, and you can dive into that episode to learn a little bit more about that side of the coin when it comes to signal-based selling. So with that, I'm going to end the stream here today, but we do this on a weekly basis. So tune in for next week. We'll publish very soon what the topic will be, but it'll be a very similar sort of session where we dive into a specific use case or topic that we're seeing trending out there with our users or out there in the broader go-to-market space. And we dive into how to achieve that using Asset Mule and then answer any questions that you have. But for today, thanks for joining, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.